Hello everyone, good morning. How are you? I hope all you are well and fine. I think all you are enjoying and preparing, hard working because this is 12th class and the next year you are going to appear for board examination. This is the time for preparation and this is the time for hard working because except studying there is no other work. This is the period of lockdown. There is no other work for going out and going to school and some other place. So that is why it is good as you are at your home. You must have study and you must have work hard. Today I am going to discuss with you chapter number 3, book Flamingos, and the title of the chapter is Deep Water. Before going to this chapter, I would like to divide it with 5 parts. Number 1, we will discuss about the author and about the biography of the author, and second, we will know the introduction part of the story or this chapter, and then we will discuss summary of this chapter and also character, places. Then after we will look at the important points of this chapter, what we should keep in our mind. That are the important points of this chapter. Remember one thing, if you keep all the points in your mind, so from where the question will come, definitely you will attend the answers. That is why I will tell you the important points in my last time, so that you have to see whole video with patiently. So it is if it is difficult to understand in English, especially North Indian students, so they are mostly watching a Hindi video to understand English. It is I am not saying it is bad, but it is good if we understand English in English. So that is good. Anyway, so if I will be permitted or the time will permit me, so definitely I will make some Hindi video, but my Hindi is very poor and I am not speaking well Hindi. Because of that reason I am not making any Hindi video. Anyway, let us begin. Deep water, it is a special part that was taken from Of Man and Mountain, that was written by William Douglas, and in this lesson he wants to convey what was the fear in his life and how he overcome to the fear. As we think about William Douglas, as for his short biography, he was born in 1898 and his life period was 1898 to 1980. So he was born in Mani, that is Mani, Minnesota. After graduating bachelor degree in English literature as well as economics, he started to teach in high school, that is in Yakima. But after 2 years of his teaching, he tired of that occupation, and for that he wanted to change his occupation, and he wanted to do some other work. So because of that reason, he has been changed from teacher to a advocate or lawyer, and finally, and the last time, he became also a justice. Anyway, when he left the school and he met to Roosevelt Franklin, Franklin T. Roosevelt, one who was the US president, and he became advisor and friend to the president. And then after, Douglass was a leading advocate of the individual rights, or he retired in 1975 with a term lasting 36 years and remains the longest service justice, 36 years, and remain the longest service justice in the history of the court. So that was the history of the court. I think before him no one had done almost 36 years work as for a justice. I am right or wrong, I do not know, but according to this biography, as it is told that he made a great history for working as a justice in 36 years. 36 years. So anyway, in this autobiographical part, the selection is used to support the discussion of fear. In the story, Douglass talked about his fear of water and how he finally overcome with strong willpower, courage, hard work, and firm determination. Once he took courage, the fear vanished. Remember one thing, if you take courage, so definitely the fear will vanish. If you lose your courage, the fear will overcome you. If you gather courage, the fear will drive out from you. So that is the thing. In this chapter he says, fear creates danger where there is none. The writer experience further confirm the proverbial truth, where there is a will, there is a way. So remember one thing, it is very important, where there is a way, where there is a will, there is a way. If we have willpower, so everything is possible. Everything is possible. So if we have strong determination, so we can win the world. Nothing is impossible. As you are a student, you have some challenges, you have some problem, either you have some weakness, maybe that is in physically, that is in study, or in whatever way. But remember one thing, if you have strong willpower, so definitely you can overcome the challenge and you can overcome the fear. Here, the author, he was always fearing to water, and there was something happened in his life. I will tell you later. So two incidents and happened, and because of that reason he was fearing, and that fear day by day or taking him, and because of that reason he was not able to swim. But finally how he overcome, we may learn about that. Let us know about character and places. First, Douglass, narrator of the story. He was the narrator of the story. YMCA pool, a swimming pool runs by Young Men Christian Association. So YMCA, the full form of YMCA is Young Men Christian Association. So this pool was here, and the pool was governed by YMCA. Yakima is a US city located about 60 miles southeast of Mount Rainier in Washington. Now let us look about the summary of this chapter. The story Deepwater tells how the writer overcome fear of water and learned swimming with sheer determination and willpower. So as I told you, if there is willpower, so everything is possible. He had developed a terror of water since childhood. When he was 3 or 4 years old, so he went to sea in California. So as he was there in sight of water, so a huge wave came upon him and completely that was knocked the child down and swept over him. And that was very fearful time for him, and because of that reason he feared. But beside her father was happened nothing, so just he laughed. That was his first reason, and because of that reason he was always fearing to water. So one day he went to YMCA swimming pool in Yakima. So one day while he was waiting for other boy, a big boy suddenly played a dangerous prank, and he pushed him into the deep water. And the writer, he fell into the swimming pool, and here he doesn't know how to swim and how to overcome this situation. He tried many times, almost 3 times, but couldn't do anything else. He was trying to hold ropes, ladders, or whatever might be there, and he wanted to jump from the top of the swimming pool, and he wanted to come off, but 3 times he managed himself and he tried to come over, but he couldn't do anything else. And when it was 3 times, just he became just like a dead person, and also he just there was nothing else, and almost his limbs, the part of the body, it was not working, and became completely paralyzed. That was a very terrible situation for him. He tried to shout, but no sound came out. He went down again. His lungs ached, his throat, and he grew dizzy. He felt paralyzed with fear. All his limbs were paralyzed. Only the movement of his heart told him that he was alive. He looked for a rope, ladder, and water wings, but all in vain. Then he went down again, and a 3rd time. This time all effort and fear ceased. He was moving toward peaceful death. The writer was in peace. Means there was no way to do other things. He was full of helpless, and nobody was there to hear him. Nobody was here to help him. When he came to consciousness, he found himself laying on the side of the pool with the other boys nearby. The terror that had experienced in the pool never left him. that experience, that is the second experience for him. As I told you, and his first experience when he was almost 3 or 5 years old, that was in the Sea of California, and this is second experience when he was almost 10 or 11 years old, when he wanted to learn the swimming, and because of that reason when he came to the YMCA pool, that second incident happened, and that was very unfortunate, and that was very terror. So from that day, whenever he sees water, automatically a fear comes around him, and automatically he terrified when he sees water. So but in this time he never gave his hope, and finally somehow he overcome, and somehow he somehow he overcome from that pool. It hunted him for year and year to come, means the fear hunted year after year and month after month. It spoils many of his expedition of canoeing, swimming and fishing. It spoiled his pleasure in Manning Lake or Columbia and Bumping Lake, etc. But the writer was determined to conquer his fear, and because of that reason he hires a instructor of swimming, and when he hired him, so that fellow came and taught him very clearly, step by step, and piece by piece he taught him very clearly, and how to exhale, and how to inhale, raising it above water. He practiced this several weeks. At last he combined all these actions and made the writer swim. He learned swimming, but terror continued. Even though he learned, but the terror continued to his life. So deep goes our childhood experiences, so fearful the fear of fear. Whenever he was in water, terror returned. Henceforward, the writer tried to terrorize the terror itself. He tried to face the new challenge. When terror came, he comforted it by asking it sarcastically, asked it to what it can really do him. He plunged into the water as if he defied the fear. Once he took courage, the terror vanished. He faced the challenge deliberately in various places, like the water lake. He conquered it at last. Somehow he was fearing, somehow he was terroring, the water always terrorizing to him, the fearness that was increasing to him, and because of that reason all his pleasure and all his desire to swim or canoeing, fishing, everything was spoiled. But now he challenged himself, and finally he learned how to swim, and now he is a good swimmer. So that is why he said, that is why here it can be said, he conquered it at last. So children, remember one thing, as I previous told you, if there is a will, there is a way. Let us know about the important parts. Very quickly I will read for you, and you have to listen that. William O. Douglas had a desire to learn swimming since childhood, At the age of 3 or 4, he was knocked down and buried by a wave at a beach of California. He developed a great aversion to water. At the age of 10 or 11, he decided to learn to swim with water beings at the YMCA pool, since it was safe at the shallow end. A misfortune, while sitting alone and waiting for others to come at the YMCA pool, a big boy came and threw Douglas into deep of the pool. Douglas swallowed water and went straight down to the bottom of the pool. While going down, he planned to make a big jump upward, but come up slowly and tried to shout but could not. As he went down to the pool, second time he tried to jump upward, but it was waste of energy. Terror held him deeper and deeper. During the third trial, he sucked water instead of air. Light was going out and there was no more panic. So he ceased all effort and became unconscious. He crossed to oblivion. When revived, he found himself vomiting beside the pool. He was in grief of fear of water, and it deprived him of the joys of canoeing, boating, swimming, and fishing, or swimming in any other lake or in any other pool. The instructor taught him swimming piece by piece. He went to a different lake to swim and found tiny vestings of fear still gripped him. He challenged the fear and swam, swimming up and down the warm lake. He finally overcame his fear of water. He realized that in death there is peace and there is terror only in fear of death. So children, I hope you have understood it very well, and as my knowledge and as I could do, I have done here, and there is no more facility. I supposed to have a smart board, I supposed to have video camera, a sound system, etc. But further I will purchase that. But now in this limited facilities, you have to satisfy with yourself. Thank you.